An Osgood woman has a warning after she says a man tried to get into her home last night by pretending to be a repairman.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with a woman today who says she wants to get the warning out so others don't fall victim.
It was around 9:30. The kids were in bed and all was quiet here in Osgood. But then there was a knock on Jenny's door.
She said, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm standing there trying to think if I knew the guy, and I didn't know him. And he's like, "Yeah, I need to come inside because you said your heater was broken."
Jenny did not want us to show her face as she's now scared for her and her family's safety, but says she doesn't want anyone else to get in a similar situation.
He had no ID. He didn't have any tools. He wouldn't tell me his name. No bags, no nothing. First I thought it was a delivery guy.
She says she never called to get her heater fixed, but says the man was persistent, saying it was her unit that called for help and he was going to get in and fix it.
Like aggressive, trying to be persistent on getting inside the house to check the heater, and there was nothing wrong with the heater.
She says after a few minutes, the man finally gave up and walked down the driveway. But Jenny says her bad feeling didn't stop there, as she says the man parked all the way at the end of the property, getting away in a black pickup without any logos painted on the side. Jenny says she immediately called her landlord, and sure enough, there was no call for a repairman to her home.
I don't trust anyone, so I would not let someone in my house regardless.
Jenny also made a report with Fargo Police and says a Ring doorbell camera will soon be installed. In South Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
We've had a quiet start to the work week so far, which is fine after all the recent snow and wind. Let's find out from Nathan about tonight's No Wait weather planner. Nathan?
Yeah, Andrea, things will be looking quiet for the rest of this evening as well, which again is great news for those folks who are still digging out from this weekend's system. Right now from our Valley Skycam in South Fargo, seeing traffic moving along nicely there on I-94, both eastbound and westbound. It's not until you get to those side streets that things are a bit more dicey. So again, if you are traveling out and about, watch out for some packed snow and ice on those side streets. High pressure and clear skies moving into the Devil's Lake Basin. Clearing skies in Grand Forks, thinning clouds in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Still a few lingering flurries in a few spots in our southern and eastern neighborhoods from Brainerd down just north of St. Cloud through Sisseton as well. But not seeing too many surface observations of reported snow. So it may just be a few rogue flurries lingering with that middle level atmospheric moisture exiting toward Minneapolis. Temperatures still in the 20s, 21 in Grand Forks, 22 in Fargo. But if you look at that warmer air off toward the east, up toward Minot, Dickinson, and Bismarck as well, that warm air is moving into our neck of the woods, which will make for a pretty pleasant Tuesday for us. But for tonight, temperatures holding into the mid-20s with that southwest wind bringing a bit of that more mild air in, or relatively mild, I should say, down into the middle 20s there for our friends in Grand Forks. But of course, we'll talk, Andrea and Mike, about that much calmer and milder forecast coming up here in a couple minutes.
All right, thanks, Nathan.
Yeah.
As we continue into the winter months, the best way to stay up to date on conditions is by downloading the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day wherever you are. All you have to do is search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.
The search is on in Fargo for a man police say intentionally tried to run someone else over. It happened last week at the FM Visitors Center. Officers say the driver rear-ended the victim's car, got out, and yelled at the victim. Then the driver circled the parking lot and hit the victim who was standing outside of their car. The driver is described as a large, bald white man driving a blue or black Ford SUV. The vehicle has North Dakota plates. If you have any information, contact authorities.
A 61-year-old man is in jail in connection with the death of his nephew. Authorities say James Earl Bynum Jr. got into a fight with 42-year-old Oscar Bynum on November 29th, putting him into a chokehold until his body went limp. Police found Oscar's body at the 6th Street South apartment later that day.
A 30-year-old man is in trouble with the law after leading deputies on a chase through Moorhead. It started around 1:30 this morning when Clay County deputies spotted a stolen car. They say the driver slid into a snowbank near 9th Street and 9th Avenue South. The 3 people inside ran away but were caught. Philip Murray of Moorhead was arrested for possession of stolen property. The 2 passengers were released on misdemeanor fleeing charges.
Residents at a mobile home park in East Grand Forks are upset they have to drive 6 miles into Grand Forks just to pick up their mail. A notice was posted at North Star Terrace that says all mail was suspended on November 21st due to complaints of tampering. Residents are told to call East Grand Forks Police if their mail has been tampered with but police there say they haven't received any calls. Several residents say they were told by the landlord mail delivery will resume soon, but they weren't given an exact date.
I haven't been getting anything, and I always get mail. I mean, whether it's garbage mail, but now I don't get nothing.
Police put some cameras back in here that when they had cameras, you had no problem with the mail.
The United States Postal Service tells us they started holding mail for North Star Terrace because of numerous complaints of missing mail or mail that had been tampered with. The agency says the mailboxes are not secure and will need to be repaired, and mail delivery will resume once the repairs are done.
No let up in the near future for city crews trying to clear all streets of snow. Fargo says their plows have made it to every street at least once. We talked with the public works supervisor about the challenges they face. Lee Anderson told us there were 25 people working each day and night over the weekend, but it wasn't enough since the city of Fargo needs more staff. He told us that when it came to budget time, the city asked for 7 workers and they got 2.
We worked around the clock starting Thursday night at 11 p.m. and we've been 24 hours around the clock since then, and we will continue to be until we make room for the next storm.
Anderson added that their work now focuses on returning to many areas and cleaning up cul-de-sacs.
If you're still waiting on a loved one to travel home, there's some good news. The weather's negative impact on air travelers is lessening. There's only one weather-related delay and no cancellations involving flights at Hector International. And according to the FAA, aside from a few coastal airports, most airports across the country have returned to normal as well.
Cass County commissioners have voted to allow refugees to continue to resettle in the county. Today's action comes after North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum announced that he's embracing an executive order from President Donald Trump, which gives states and cities the authority to refuse to accept refugees. Officials say it's now up to the state to decide if it will allow refugees to continue to resettle locally.
Jamestown students and their community benefit from a partnership with Otter Tail Power Company. It's called the Blue Jay Solar Project, and project managers say the community gains a renewable energy source, and students can learn from it since it's directly located on the Jamestown High School campus.
For the purpose of this project, some of the land they had was ideal. It also provided an excellent opportunity for outreach to the students, kind of creating an educational program.
Work at the site is expected to wrap up soon, and the community could start using some of the project's solar power by 2020.
The South Pole is showing some of our local pride. Nestled among the penguins is a flag created by Lake Park Audubon 6th graders. This is the 4th year for Mrs. O'Connell's class to send a flag to the pole. She says each student signed the flag, and the project encourages them to learn about other parts of the world.
That is really cool.
It is.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, a special honor at the NFL game last night for a veteran from North Dakota.
And in case you missed the snowfall totals from this weekend, Grand Forks picked up just over 8 inches. McLeod and Durbin picked up around a foot. Park Rapids picked up right at a foot. Fargo, 10 inches, which fits right into our range of 6 to 12 inches expected for most of us. But we, of course, will talk about a much quieter forecast coming up here after the break.